Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we need to make a standing spray for an order, and so we are using just a fresh floral cage, which I got from a company called Ludwig. This is called Thirsty Foam, and these are called easel mates. So it is just a plastic cage that I have attached to a stand. And we take it and zip tie it in 3 different places, both sides here, and then we zip tie it at the top. Now when you do 3 points of attachment, that means that your arrangement will stay in place. The one arrangement that is probably moved more than any other arrangement that you deliver is going to be funeral flowers, and it is because they are moved from the flower shop to the funeral home for a visitation, from the funeral home maybe over to a church for a service, from the church over to the funeral. So they get handled a lot, and so it's very important that they stay together. Of all the arrangements that you make, this is the one arrangement that needs to be well put together so it doesn't fall apart. So this has been attached to our stand, and you can't see it, but I do have a bucket tucked right up underneath the stand so that when the water drips, it's going to drip into the bucket. Fresh floral foam needs to be soaked first. It's so important that you soak your floral foam first before you ever begin to design in it. We're going to start out with our flowers. I'm going to design this arrangement a little bit differently than how you've seen me design in the past. I am actually going to start with my flowers first, and then we will add the greenery at the very end. I'm going to start with my lime flower. And I have actually 2 different types of lime flower today. We've got some Bells of Ireland, and I've got some white delphinium. So I'm going to start with my pretty white delphinium. I'm going to remove, some of these blooms are broken, so I'm just pulling those right off. I'm going to take my floral knife. I'm going to cut that stem at an angle, and I am going to place my first flower at the top of the standing spray, and that's hard for you to see. I'm going to adjust just a little bit. Next, I'm going to take my second bloom, cut that stem at an angle, and I like to insert it in the bottom. So I like to do my first insertions kind of as a line, the one on the top and then the one on the bottom kind of mirroring one another. I'm going to take my next bloom, and I am going to come off to the side. All right, maybe that's a little better. Okay, our second 2 stems kind of went catty corner across. And then I have 2 more of the white delphinium, and I'm going to do those kind of here in the side. And really, I'm just trying to kind of make a diamond shape with all of my flowers, and so I placed them on each side there. Next, we're going to come in with our Bells of Ireland. So I have pretty green Bells of Ireland that we're going to come in with next. I can get them loose from all of these. So we've got some pretty green Bells of Ireland. I'm going to take and strip down some of those blooms, and I'm going to pinch the greenery out of the top. I'm going to take and cut that stem, and I'm going to go opposite of this flower here. I'm just going to set it to the opposite side. Take another stem, and I'm going to come on the opposite side of my bottom flower here. I like to pinch that tip out because I think it just looks nicer, but if you like the tip in, you can absolutely leave it. I'm going to kind of come catty there. All right, so there's all of our lime flower. I kind of adjust so that you can see it again. There you go. So you can see how I've kind of done kind of a diamond shape all the way around with our line flower. Next, I'm going to come in with, I believe, a little bit of Solidago. So Solidago Aster is just a filler flower that we like to use, just a pretty yellow filler. And this is going to help with filling in our perimeter and showing you how the shape is coming to be. Now, if you are watching this video and you find our videos informing and you enjoy them, if you would be so kind as to like this video, that just helps us to be seen. We would so appreciate that. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. All right, there's our Solidago. Next, we're going to come in with some hydrangeas. I have 3 mini green hydrangeas. So our hydrangeas, mini greens are just a smaller variety of hydrangea. I'm going to remove some of the greenery. I'm going to take my stem, cut it at an angle, and I'm going to dip it in Quick Dip. Now, Quick Dip is a hydrating solution that helps to keep these hydrangeas hydrated. Be sure when you tuck your flowers down into the foam that you're pushing them deep down into that foam. You don't want them to work their way out during delivery. There's our green hydrangeas. Next, we are going to come in with some, they're almost golden yellow mums. These are disc buds. Now, the wonderful thing about a chrysanthemum is it's very long lasting, and so they hold up really, really well. All right, there's our pretty yellow mums. Next, we will come in with some kind of peachy, orangey colored carnations. I'm going to show you a quick trick about a carnation. When carnations come in, often they're a little closed. So if you'll take them and kind of cradle them in your hand and hold the head, don't hold the stem, hold the head, and you'll just kind of fluff that carnation. And you'll fluff it and open those petals up. Now, it's very important that you don't do that with any other type of flower, only a carnation. Don't get carried away thinking you can open up other flowers that way, because you will bruise their little petals. So be careful with other flowers, but carnations you absolutely can fluff. All right, there's our carnations tucked in. I think I need to move him up just a little bit. He's competing with that mom. There we go. Okay, next we are going to come in with some spray roses. We have some beautiful red spray roses that are so lovely. And I think they'll give us a really pretty pop of color. So a spray rose and a standard rose are, they're the same type of flower. They look exactly the same. A spray rose is just the miniature. And it has, we call it a spray because there's lots of different little blooms on one stem. Now, a standard rose often has one flower, and it's of course much larger, right? It's a larger bloom, but it's beautiful, right? So we're gonna start with our spray roses, and then we'll come to our standards, just cutting that stem at an angle. I love this beautiful red. Now spray roses are kind of like standards. There are lots and lots of different varieties of spray roses, different colors and varieties. This red is so lovely, I think. Okay, next we are going to come in with our standard roses. So these are called High and Magic. That variety is High and Magic. They are so lovely. Really, if you look on the outer part of the petals, it's kind of got a lot of yellow to the outer part of the petal and then kind of an orange tip. They're just beautiful. I'm going to take some wire. So this is just a 21 gauge wire and we've cut it. This is about 1/3 of a wire. I'm going to take it and I'm going to take my flower, my rose, and I am going to press that little wire right into the calyx and then I'm going to twist it, the wire, right around that stem. I'm going to leave as much of the leaves and greenery on the stem as I can because I think the greenery is lovely and I think it helps to fill in your arrangement, and it didn't cost extra because it comes on the flower. I'm going to cut that stem at an angle, tuck it right into my arrangement. And I am going to wire each and every one of these flowers. Now the reason I am choosing to wire these flowers, we wire all of our roses pretty much, but the reason I am wiring them is because when you use floral foam, you don't have a really great water source. And they will get dehydrated, so their little heads will dip. So if we wire them, it helps to keep those heads upright. It makes for a happier looking rose, and it makes them last longer in this floral foam. Now floral foam, especially a standing arrangement like this, is just not going to be long-lived, and it's because it doesn't have enough of a water source. This is for a short-term arrangement, meaning the flowers are just not going to last very long. But when using fresh flowers in a stand like this, you want to try to use longer lasting blooms because you do want them to stay as pretty as possible for as long as possible. I'm taking my floral knife and I'm cutting off any of the thorns that might be on the stem that might bite. I don't want them to bite me. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, how we put together certain types of arrangements, please be sure to ask. You can drop it in the comments right below, and we will be happy to try to answer your questions you might have about floral design. Or you can even send us an email. We'd be happy to answer it that way also. Okay, there's our High and Magic. Look how they're just such a good, pretty pop of color there. Next, we're going to come in with our white lilies. We have beautiful, large, white oriental lilies. I'm going to tuck those in, taking that knife. Now you see how large this flower is. Very big. Such a big, beautiful flower. Now, when working with lilies, you want to be sure to pull the pollen out of the lily. The pollen has been removed. You want to do that because pollen will stain these beautiful lilies. So you want to make sure to remove it so that it doesn't stain the lily or stain anyone's clothes that is handling the flowers. Okay, there's our beautiful white lilies. And then the last flower we're going to use are these bright red Gerbera daisies. Now I am going to add wire to their stems also. So I'm going to use the same floral wire and I'm going to press it in the back of that disc. Just right there. And then I'm going to wrap it right around that stem. Again, this is just giving stability to that bloom. I'm going to do that with all 3 of those flowers. And it's really not so much to the bloom as to the stem. The stems tend to have a hard time holding those blooms in place when they get dehydrated. So it's just a little bit of an extra boost. So I believe I kind of went down there with those lilies. I think I'm going to pop our red gerberas like right over in here. All right, I don't like the way he's kind of looking. It's hard to see him. So I'm going to move it over. All right, so there's our pretty red gerberas on that side. Our lilies kind of coming, and then everything else is just kind of mixed in. Next, what we're going to do is add our greenery to finish our arrangement. So I have some jade. Jade is a type of palm, and palm comes in several different varieties: jade, robellini, TP, lots of different types. This is just one of the smaller varieties. So I'm going to take, and we're going to go all the way around the back side of the arrangement. We're going to just take and tuck that greenery just to go all the way around and fill in. All right, you can see how it's just kind of filling in that backside to give us some fullness on the backside. Now often if you've ever watched any of my videos, you've often seen me add the greenery first. And I am finding that if you will wait and add the greenery last, then you are going to
It might be, I got my phone down now.
All right, to finish our arrangement, we're going to add some silver dollar eucalyptus. So I like to use eucalyptus almost like a filler. It's kind of airy and has pretty movement, and it's just going to fill in the empty spaces in our arrangement. I took some snips and I cut off the lateral growth on the piece of eucalyptus, and I'm just going to take it and kind of tuck it deep down into our arrangement. And it's going to give us a little more texture, a little more movement. It's just a really pretty, and it gives us this pretty pop of color too. I really like its color also. All right, so there's that type of eucalyptus. Next, we're going to come in with some spiral eucalyptus. This is one stem, and you can see all this lateral growth that's coming off the individual, the original stem. So I'm going to just take, using my snips, I'm going to just cut off each of those branches. And then we will take and insert these into our arrangement. I'm going to take and strip off some of the bottom leaves. Now the one thing you will find about this type of eucalyptus is it is sticky. It has a lot of sap, so it is sticky. So you need to be careful. If you are allergic to eucalyptus oil, you need to be careful with this eucalyptus because it'll break your hands out. And you might want to wear gloves when working with it. My sister has a lot of issues with eucalyptus, so she can't, she likes the way it looks. She can be around it, but she really can't work with it this way. Like she'll come and say, hey, somebody put some eucalyptus into this arrangement for me. But I think the eucalyptus really does add a really pretty pop to an arrangement. And there is our finished design. So the flowers that we used were white delphinium, which was some of our line flower, and bells of Ireland, which were another line flower. We used these beautiful golden colored yellow disbud mums, some peachy colored carnations, the red spray roses, the high and magic standard roses, which are those orange, yellow solidago. We used the green mini hydrangeas, and then we used red Gerbera daisies and white oriental lilies. And so our greenery, we chose jade, And then we use silver dollar eucalyptus and spiral or baby blue euc. And I think it made just a lovely standing spray, very full and showy. Now this stand would be an arrangement that we would sell here at our shop for around $225 is what we would retail this for. Guys, thank you for being here today. If, again, I said it earlier in the video, if you have questions about how we do things here at the shop, please don't hesitate to ask. We are so happy to answer your questions. Be sure, if you enjoyed this video, to hit that button, hit that like button. Let us know you enjoyed the video. And guys, we appreciate you and we will see you soon. Have a great day.